Hi, I'm Nick Appleyard, CEO of TriStar Gold, and today we'll be talking to you a little bit about our pre-feasibility study and the ongoing work down at Castelo de Sonhos.
Hey Nick, how are you?
Very good, thanks, yeah.
So where are you?
I'm in Scottsdale in head office right now.
Fantastic, okay, and heading down to site soon, you tell me. I saw the headline, final stages of pre-feasibility on a press release. Why announce something that you're going to be telling the market in a couple of months?
Well, it's a major milestone for us. I mean, we wanted to let people know that we're that we are on track and we're on target to get that complete. Hopefully in around August this year. I think in the same press release we also announced we were doing a webinar yesterday. But the real focus is telling people that after with me running this five and a half years now, this is culminating in this pre-feasibility study, which is within a couple of months of being completed now.
Right. So what's left to do? Why aren't we announcing today?
So right now we've just handed the resource model, the geological model, over to the mining engineers. They are working on the pit shells, the pit optimization, the pit design. The cost estimators are all working on. We've got the plant design, so the cost estimators have got that now costing the major components, and we're working on the infrastructure issues such as power, roads, water. Obviously, tailings dams is being worked on as well. So there's a huge amount. It's all office work. There's almost nothing going on in the field now. I mean, there's there are things happening in the field, but I mean, the work for this is now rolled into offices around the world. So there's a lot of moving parts on getting this done now. And, I think we just wanted to let people know that this is coming and remind people how important this is for TriStar and potentially for our investors,
Yeah, yes, I guess it has been a while. You're down to the last 2 months. It's like I can understand why you're excited about it. What have people got to be excited to look forward to? What are you going to be coming to market with? Is it going to be drastically different from the PEA?
It will be. The whole aim of our PFS was to upgrade the PEA to a higher confidence level study. So we still anticipate around the same amount of production, around 1 million ounces of production. But we will be obviously running, the high metal prices we're seeing now. We'll be running with better exchange rates we're seeing now, slightly higher metallurgical recoveries that we've got through additional testing. So we're really expecting a strong study here. And I think if we can improve that MPV from our previous study through those components moving, and you're also getting this, you get a re-rate from what you get for a conceptual study, like 0.1 times NAV, to a PFS, you should be 0.5 times NAV. It should be very, very material for investors, and we see that in some of the banks that cover us with give target prices. They've got some pretty high target prices on us based on this potential re-rating coming very soon.
Yeah, I mean, the market's been it's been funny 2 or 3 weeks for the market for sure. You're up from when we last spoke to you back in March. 23 to 28 cents. So, people are paying attention, but it's on low trading numbers. It's almost like your stock's too tightly held. What do you do to change that? Because you're putting out some good news, and then there's not a lot of stock to buy. How do I get in?
I think there is some stock out there. I mean, I think we saw a little blip last week when we moved up on a couple of 100,000 shares, and for me that was a really good sign, because that meant that there's no buyers, no sellers just sitting there just off market, ready to hit anything down. There is stock out there, and we know that. So I sort of think what's happened now is it just has been a 5-year run to get us from 280,000 ounces up to over 2 million, and the PEA, and now I think there's just this wait and see, let's get to that point, and so that's why I'm trying to generate the excitement now, because it's coming. We're getting very, very close.
Okay, so what permits are outstanding?
From a permitting point of view, we've got everything we need to do right now, but obviously all the work is being done. There's a massive amount of work being done on the permitting to make it so that as soon as we've got the PFS done, then we can do the impacts analysis and move it as short a timeline as possible towards production. So that there is probably right now a lot more work going on permitting than there is on the PFS itself. You don't talk about that as much because it's not as exciting, because it's like buying insurance for your car. You talk more about your car than the insurance, but the insurance is important. So we are doing huge amounts of hydrology, cave works, archaeology, ESG, the community work. All of that's taking up, is a large component of work. And we recently put in a new VP of sustainability we also put in at the corporate level, the board level, a new committee looking at environmental, social, and sustainability, aimed at making sure that this is a project that can move forward and that none of those sort of issues can roadblock it.
Well, that's why I'm asking about permitting, because people kind of rush through these kind of scoping studies and they kind of skip through usual topics. But one, you're in Brazil. Two, there's a lot of water where you are. Three, the market is talking about ESG and they are talking about EIAs, environmentals, and it feels like there's got to be a higher standard these days than there ever has been.
There is. We had a board meeting a few weeks back now, just to prove our financials, but as a board we were talking about it, and a couple of our new board directors who are very strong in ESG, Eric Zanchab and Mark Yestad, both talked about the real value you're going to bring to your shareholders by doing the ESG work properly, because there are a lot of funds out there which have mandates and they can't invest in a company if they haven't got proper ESG mandates in place. They don't have a board committee, they don't have policies published, so that work isn't just work that we're doing to check boxes to get permits in Brazil. It is work that we're doing to obviously be good corporate citizens, but it will flow through to investor value as well, because potential acquirers, potential partners, potential investors from large funds have ESG mandates these days, and they look at companies doing this work properly.
And how's the cash flow? Oh, it's not cash flow. How's the cash position?
It's good. We've got around about $8 million US right now. I think just tick over or tick under. Yeah, right at $8 million US. So for everything we're doing now, we're fine. We probably need to raise money early next year again, to get to the next stage after this.
Right, and we've talked in the past. Sorry, I know you want us to focus on the PFS, but you're going to be talking to us that in the next couple of months, I suspect, about that with the actual numbers. But we talked in the past about the AI component. Has that actually, in hindsight now, has that actually helped your ability to target with the two drill rigs that you've got going? Yeah,
the AI component is fed directly into the geological model and resource model we've given to our PFS consultants. So that is a critical component that's given us a better model, and we've actually, we will be having a new resource estimate come out as part of the PFS from them, and I expect to see a little bit of growth in that, especially in the confidence level and maybe in the overall size a little bit, because of the addition of the AI. I mean, it gives you a lot of confidence in your continuity, because you can now be sure what joins with what, and that adds direct value to your resource model. So yeah, it's an intrinsic part of the base building block now of the whole project.
Right. So if I do, there's a couple of rigs you've got, isn't it?
Right now, no, we don't. Right now, we're not drilling.
You're not drilling. Okay.
We've stopped for a little while exploration to focus on PFS, and we'll start up again, to complete our budget for the year.
That was going to be my question. In case you got $8 million ish in the bank, and I thought you had two rigs previously, but what's the plan going forward? It's all desk work at the moment. Focus in, get the PFS done, get some numbers out in the marketplace. But to what end, right? Because it's a fairly homogenous mineralization that you've got there. So just over a gram, and if you keep drilling, you probably keep finding just over a gram on average. So how do you take this coming forward? Because it's whatever it is, 65-ish million market cap. You got to get people excited, well, not necessarily excited, but at least to see the potential of what it is here. And is this a takeover target? Is it a roll-up target? I mean, how are you positioning this thing?
Yeah, I mean, the clear thing is, TriStar, with the team we have now, we don't have a team to put this into production ourselves. I mean, obviously we could go through that, getting a team, and that I've been through it before, and I know how risky and difficult that is to do. And I don't think that's probably the best path forward for our shareholders. So you are left with, sort of, as you mentioned, either a takeover target or roll up or a merger of equals maybe. So basically, we're starting that process now. We are talking to people. We know who the obvious candidates are. They know who we are very, very well right now. As you mentioned, we got around 65 million market cap now. I don't want to be sitting down too much talking to anyone. Well, that's the number. I want to get it higher. I want to get this study out and have that number significantly higher, and then be talking to people about how we're going to build this. Who wants to get involved? We know there are groups that want to get involved. It's just a matter of how you structure that, and the money, and can we get the price we want? I personally would love to be involved with this project moving forward and see it come to fruition and see it mine, as a profitable mine, because I do have a lot of faith in it. So, things like someone comes in, there's a few assets in Brazil which could be rolled up into a nice company. That would be really interesting. I think that would be really interesting. And I think that could add a lot of shareholder value because, you can get a nice sort of timeline of projects, some in production being developed like this one, fairly soon, and then furthermore doing exploration stuff. That would be interesting. Or obviously, if someone bigger wants it, they just have to bring a big checkbook,
So, Nick, you've always been quite honest with regards to how you're going to play this in terms of, you're not going to take it forward yourselves. You're going to you've had conversations with people, obvious groups. They know where you are. They know roughly what you've got. The PFS is going to have to deliver. It's really going to have to deliver for you because it is the difference from you going from 65 million to 100 million, right? Or you're going to have to go through to the next stage of study here, which is you may not necessarily want to spend the money on either. So are they going to be pleasantly surprised by what comes out of the DFS?
It's still hard to predict everything now. There's a lot of moving parts, but from everything I've seen so far, we should be. It should be good. We're seeing. You'll see pluses and minuses. As you increase engineering, you'll see a bit of scope creep and a little bit. There's details that are missed out. That's normal. That's expected. That's why you have a higher contingency on a PEA than you will have on a PFS. But we have seen some really nice moves in our favor, like the metallurgy going from 95 will probably be at 98% recovery. The gold price, the exchange rate. The drilling has been successful for the resources. So I think they're going to be happy, and I think what's also going to come into it will be the exploration once we get our team focused back on that at the end of this PFS, complete our 20,000 meters scheduled for the year, and say, okay, here's the PFS and what we're talking about, and it's growing. So that'll build hopefully a little bit of tension. It's like, okay, get in now because, if we're going to go from, 280,000 ounces to 1.5 to 2 and, the price isn't going to go down if we can keep growing that. So I think that exploration will come in after the PFS and hopefully keep the tension going on that.
And if there's no offers on the table, what do? You keep drilling, keep increasing the size of the resource. That's kind of
we would keep moving
old school, but it has worked in the past. But is it what you want to be doing?
Well, we will be the biggest thing that'll add value to it will be completing the permitting. Because I think people, any geologists who understand the asset well are going to go, yeah, look, there's a pretty good chance you're going to extend this drilling here. So I think that's, it adds confidence when you've done it, but I don't think it's a surprise to anyone, or a concern to anyone that's going to happen. So for me, that's why we've got so much work going on the permitting. If we get the LP, that first environmental permit, that'll be a major thing. So when we finish this, that'll be our primary focus to get that, because that'll be the sort of the next peg to knock down that will add real value to an acquirer. They'll go, this is now a permitted project with its environmental permits, in Brazil, in a great location to build a mine. What more could you want, on a simple project?
It's a simple project, and it's, nice post-tax IRRs. I think it was over 40% from memory.
Yeah, it was before you.
Right. So but it would be better if it was part of something else. It's kind of almost designed to be better as part of something else, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't think, I know we've been a single asset project now for the single asset company for the last 5 years. I don't actually like single asset companies much myself. So yeah, it should be part of another company which has multiple assets. Something in production now, this one coming into production over the next 2 to 3 years, and then others down at scope and level. So that would be a really nice scenario for an asset like this.
Okay, fantastic. Well, look, our ears are pricked. We're ready to talk to you about the PFS when it comes out. So we're looking August for that, and then I'm really keen on seeing what you choose to do at that point. Do you take it forward, do the DFS, or do you engage in conversation?
Well, I can tell you we won't stop, so we will be moving it forward.
Definitely,
conversations will be going on in parallel.
Okay, brilliant.
So it would be a mistake to stop the work.
Brilliant. No, appreciate your time today. Fantastic. As ever, speaking to you. I hope you're well and enjoy your, hopefully, nice, safe flight down to Turn to Brazil. How's the work environment actually? Because we've been lots of stories in different places around the world in terms of the ability to get a workforce on site and doing work, because the cost or the salaries being charged. Sorry, the salary expectations have changed so much that people are becoming a little bit more transitory and jumping around.
A little bit of that. Not too much. We always try and promote internally, so we've done a couple of promotions internally to make sure we keep people. But yeah, we haven't seen too much, too bad on that side yet. But part of that was going to be me going down there as well, sitting down with everyone and making sure and hearing exactly how the industry down there is working. But in general, it's been pretty good. The team have been happy moving forward and keeping the site open.
Okay, speak to you soon, Nick.
Okay, absolutely. Thanks a lot.